What up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about Project Triangle Strategy. I want to talk about my impressions, my thoughts, my feelings about the demo and what I hope to expect from the full release. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so first and foremost, what is Project Triangle Strategy? Well, it is a new strategy RPG from Square Enix that is made in the same engine as Octopath Traveler, though not by the same team. So graphic wise, if you've seen Octopath, you know what to expect. From what I can tell, there hasn't been much change in the graphics between the two games, but this is a really early demo. The game's not set to release until 2022, so there can be a change in graphics between now and then, but as of now, they pretty much look the same. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because both games look really good, the 2D HD engine that they use. But after, 4 years, 5 years, you would expect some kind of graphical upgrade. As far as the gameplay goes, it's a pretty typical strategy RPG on the surface. You play on the grid, you move around the grid, you pick commands, you hit people in the head, that kind of thing. What sets Project Triangle Strategy apart from other strategy RPGs is that the battle system is pretty similar to Octopath in that you can take normal actions, but you can also, in Octopath, you can power up the actions that you have by storing your turns, basically. In Project Triangle Strategy, it's kind of the same thing, except instead of powering up moves, it unlocks more moves that you can do as you store. So there'll be moves that are free, there's moves that are worth 1 store, 2 store, 3 stores, etc. Now, in Octopath, sometimes it kind of feels grindy going through battles. Nothing that discouraged me from playing the game, or nothing that made me knock the game down in like rating or anything like that. It just kind of felt that way sometimes. Kind of like a little annoying, but nothing bad or nothing worth knocking the game over. That system in Triangle Strategy lends itself better to the strategy RPG format, in my opinion. So it doesn't feel like battles take longer than they should at any point, at least in the demo anyway. Now, another thing I wanted to touch on from a gameplay perspective is that the moves that you can do, there are some, and Maxwell has a move like this, and Avora has a move like this that you see in the demo, that are like very flamboyant, very exaggerated, like anime type shit. Kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics when you see like Status Sword for the first time or Night Sword for the first time in the prologue battle. Like that shit was dope. That was so cool. That was one of the things that hooked me to that game. And I was really bummed that I had to wait till chapter 2 to see anything like that again. But it seems that Triangle Strategy is going with the same direction with some of these skills that you can learn. Like I said, for the demo, they're attached to Avora and Maxwell. But I'm really hoping that later on down the line that you can learn abilities like that. And I'm also hoping for some kind of like class system, some kind of job system where you can mix and match units and create your own custom units and stuff like that. That would really lend itself to the replayability of this game. One thing I wanted to shout out about the gameplay was the battles that they chose to be in the demo. There's only 2 battles, but they're 2 unique battles for different reasons. So the first battle has the defeat all enemies win condition attached, but there's other things that you have to do to win the battle that make that one unique. The second battle, the win condition is defeat all enemies, but the things that happen within the battle are what make this one unique, and it's unique in story implications and gameplay implications during the battle. So that battle is just crazy overall. So please go grab the demo and play these battles, and you can see for yourself what I mean. Shout outs for those battles. I'm glad that it's something different, And I hope that this is just a taste of what's to come in the final release and just not something we get every now and then. Oh, so this is cool. You're able to, there's points in the game where you can walk around town and talk to people. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but what's really cool is that this is a strategy RPG, and there really aren't towns or world maps in the majority of these games, but Triangle Strategy lets you do that. You can walk around town, you can talk to people, you can go into houses and find items, and that's just a really cool layer that most strategy RPGs don't have. On top of that, if you, in certain situations, you can talk to your party members. If they have a green exclamation point above their head, that means you're going to be given a prompt. And depending on your choice, changes your convictions. When your convictions change, when your convictions change, the characters that you can recruit change as well. So if you follow a certain path, that's going to give you certain party members that aren't available if you go down a different path. And I think that is, again, a way to add to the replayability of this game. And it's a really wonderful idea. I think that's really cool. I think that the scales of conviction, that whole system is really cool. So what that is whenever there's a major decision to be made, you can talk to your party members about their points of view, and you can change their minds depending on what evidence you gather from talking to people throughout town, through your party members, through your soldiers. And as you gain knowledge, you unlock prompts that you can choose to change the flow of conversation and eventually change the mind of the person you're talking to. Now, keep in mind, what's cool about the scales of conviction is that you can make a choice. You can have something you want to do, but if your homies don't vote for that, you're not doing that. So what I was talking about with gathering information to change minds is very important if there's a path you want to take, but your party's not feeling that. And I think that's so cool that you are in control of what happens, but at the same time, you're not in control of what happens. You can end up doing something completely different from what you want to do. And this is just me spitballing, but I would imagine that in a lot of scenarios, you kind of end up doing the same thing. It's just the circumstances around it change. So like maybe battle conditions change from one choice to another, units change from one choice to another, stuff like that. The look-ins that you can do on different characters or different domains is really cool too. So if something important happens in the game, when you go to the world map, you can, if there's a green prompt, the green circle prompt, you can click on that and it'll show you what's going on in that domain, what their thoughts, their feelings are. And that really serves to flesh out the story. I think that's really cool. So as far as the music goes, very, very wonderful soundtrack so far. Not a lot of tracks in the demo, obviously. It's a demo. I would imagine that the OST probably isn't done. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know how these things work. But anyway, what I did just find out is that the composer is Akira Shinju, who did the soundtrack for Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which is amazing and dope that they actually got him to cross over into video game soundtracks. So I'm really interested in hearing what the rest of the OST sounds like, because Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is an amazing anime. Everything about that anime is dope. Go watch it if you've never seen it. But as far as Project Triangle Strategy is concerned, I'm really excited about the OST. Now, I do have one criticism about the game, and that's the voice acting. And the main culprits for me are Serenoa, Gustadov, sometimes, and Benedict. Sometimes, but more often than not. It's not good, and it's not bad enough to ruin the game or ruin the experience, but it's one of those things that it could be better, and for some reason it's just not. Now I'm hoping that these aren't the final voice tracks, but just some voice tracks they had to lay down for the sake of the demo. So they weren't really, they just rushed it basically. But as it stands now, it's just not good. It's just not good. Now, I know the voice acting in Octopath wasn't the best, but as it stands now, Octopath is much better than Project Triangle Strategy. Again, I don't know if this is the final voice tracks or not, but I am hoping for some improvement between now and the final release. Other random thoughts? I'm super excited about this game overall. Bad voice acting aside, that's not enough to make me drop a game unless it's like Suikoden Tikairis. Is that how you pronounce it? The one on DS? Literally the worst voice acting I've ever heard in any medium in my entire life. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Triangle Strategy. And so we'll see with that. Like I said, that's not enough to make me not play the game. I'm not going to play the game on mute. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm still going to enjoy every single thing. I do appreciate that so much of the game is actually voice acted. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, those are just my quick impressions. Quick, dirty, nothing in depth, nothing too crazy. Just spitballing off the top of my head after spending some time with the demo. Overall, I'm super excited about this game. Cannot wait for it to drop. I'm really hoping that we get another demo somewhere along the way with a different part of the story, a few more battles, things like that. This demo is really talky. There's a lot of dialogue, a lot of scenes, 2 battles, a couple hours long, really cool. But yeah, man, I'm really excited about the game. Love everything about it so far except the voice work. But I'm hoping that'll change here in the future. If not, it is what it is. I'm still going to get this game on launch. I'm still going to play it for you guys. And yeah, so thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to talk about any thoughts or feelings you guys have about this game, please leave them in the comments. If you think I'm an idiot, if you think I'm wrong, if you agree, disagree, however you feel, let me know. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.